Hello and welcome to this video where we're going to be talking about the stupidity when it comes to some transphobic arguments when it comes to young people. So one of the things that you hear from transphobic people when it comes to young people is their concern for the young people. Think about the children, but of course the issue is that is a very weird thing. You see, one of the things that I've seen before, I haven't personally seen everything. So, but this, for example, one thing that I've heard before is there was once upon a time there was a child in a shop, and the child wanted to wear some what we typically considered female garments, and the parents, when they saw this, said to the child, "You're a boy." Of course, the child thought, "Well, no, I'm not. I'm a girl." And the child obviously is able to make that decision, because you see, the difference is that the child is making a gender decision there that you already made. And that, of course, is the problem. You see, the issue of arguments when it comes to sexuality and gender is that you cannot make an argument that children cannot make up their own minds if you're saying you can. Because how can you make up their mind and they can't? They would know more than you can. Now, maybe, of course, if your argument is they don't know anything, then neither do you. So you see, that's the thing. They will always know more than you can. So if you're claiming that they can't decide their gender, then neither can you. So should we all go about until we're at some other age that you decide people can decide their own gender, and only until then will we just not use gender? Well, most people would say, well, that's not very efficient. And of course, it also pointed to the fact that, young children can decide what gender they are at a very early stage, and also later on. So that's the kind of thing you have there. Basically, just a little message to all the transphobes out there. Just a little thing. It's just that, you can decide your gender because that's you, and you wouldn't really know someone else's gender because you're not them. That's the thing. It's a very interesting thing. But basically, there's this principle whereby they're them and you're you. So you see, when we're talking about them, they'd know, and you wouldn't. That's the thing. You wouldn't know. So maybe don't tell yourself you would know, and maybe don't tell yourself they wouldn't know, because they know more than you do. So maybe don't call them by any sort of pronoun or give them any gender if that's going to be your attitude. Because clearly, if they don't know, you clearly don't fucking know. So we'll just leave it up to nothing then. Is that what you're saying? And also, I cannot kind of understand this when it comes to parents who are a bit concerned about sexuality. Once again, the issue just arises, though, over not that your child is coming out as not a heterosexual, but rather that your child can tell you their sexuality at all. Once again, there are exceptions to this, but basically, once again, you don't know your child's sexuality, you don't know your child's gender, so maybe stop assuming it, and then getting angry when the child tells you something that you don't know, but you think you do. Because, you see, it's one thing to be like, well, I think my child probably shouldn't know their sexuality at all, and that's kind of fair at, let's say, 12, because that kind of implies your child is sexually attracted to things. But, of course, the issue arises when you start saying, well, I think my child shouldn't be able to say that my child is gay. That surely isn't possible. Well, how are you able to tell they're not? I think it's a bit dodgy if you're just assuming their sexuality there. Once again, same thing with gender. By the way, gender is slightly different, of course. Children from the age of 3 and upwards into adulthood can tell you their gender. So yeah, basically that's just a little packet of information there. Just a quick little update for all the transphobes and homophobes out there and everyone else. Just sometimes people do know more about themselves than you do, even if you are a medical professional, because it's not really about their body so much as it is about them. We don't really go about the place, just saying that someone is this or someone is that, unless we ask them, because, well, otherwise what we're doing there is we're being wrong, actually, and we're being just factually incorrect, and, it's just assuming you know more than the person themselves when the person is what you're talking about. Like, it's one thing to be like, well, I think I know more about capitalism than you do. But it's quite another to be like, I think I know more about you than you do, even though the only way for me to know about you is through you. So that would mean you'd have to tell me. So I may know more than Janice might know about you, but how can I know more than you know? Because everything I know about you has to come from you. See what I mean? Anyway,